So, we begin our journey into space to hopefully find Yuumu, but also a way to bring back the Vulgarians. And we have a new companion to help spice things up a bit. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Dancer, and today we're talking all things episode 103 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush anime series. An episode that was a mixed bag of emotions for myself, as on the one hand I loved the spice deck that was used, but I didn't quite vibe or like the duelist that used it. So first and foremost, we did get a new opening and ending, but I'll talk more on those in a separate video. For now, I want to start off by talking about the new character, CPT Volgear. First impressions, I feel like this is just a Rovian/Roman AI. After all, it's very curry themed, and it turns red when it's angry. Remind you of any people? But speaking of that anger, it kind of makes sense if you believe the fact that the curry bread could hear/feel all that negative vibe and emotions from the crew while on this trip. Because after feeling sort of joy and salvation, they soon turned into despair and a desperate cry for something new. After all, they do say too much of a good thing can be bad, and the curry bread started off as something good, and soon the repeated taste just went bland and they wanted something to spice things up a bit, to give them a different taste, or at least texture. So this prompted the crew to actually just go around and try and find anything that would be edible, so that they can fuse it together with the curry bread and they landed on the dragon scroll that Phaser creates. Fusing the two together caused a massive explosion and the ship's operating system became sentient, gaining its own emotions and being. Thus, the creation of CPT Volgear happened. And the character itself I didn't really enjoy, as honestly the voice just really got on my nerves, and it does give me Dinio's energy. Now its childish antics I kinda get, as it's just newly created, so in the sense is still a child. Dynamo was a character that at first I really disliked because of that childish and mature nature, and he's actually kind of grown on me a little bit. So I'm hoping that as we get more and more used and accustomed to CPT, my feelings kind of change. But at the same time, I'm not hopeful. After all, I just don't see it getting maturer, and as much as I love this deck and the designs of the Spice Monsters, I can't see CPT dueling much more unless the enemy has its own created AI duelist. It would be cool though to see it kind of have its own maybe spin-off episode where it just kind of goes through like a dungeon quest type of style in the sort of digital verse and just like duels past enemies like Suijo, Otis and Kawaii. Now when I first saw these Spice Monsters, I actually saw them online on a social media site, and I remember going, oh, those are cool. I hope they get given to a cool character. Or at least this means that the ramen dude gets another duel, because they gave me that sort of vibe and feeling. But unfortunately, this was not the case. I will still say though, I will probably buy these cards when they get released, because they are cute, cool, and I actually like the way the deck plays. Being able to see your opponent's like sort of top few cards, and then having different actions you can take based on what they reveal. I like that type of playstyle, and it's something a bit different that we haven't yet seen much of in Rush Dueling. Now returning to this sort of hunger segment of the episode, it was wild seeing how they're all starving or begging for something new to eat, and yet the ship is just trolling them with the showcasing of hologram fish flying throughout the ship. This was a little bit of like dark humor that I actually kind of found quite funny. Udius' new ace monster, Transamu Power Rainic, is the one from the promotional poster that was shown before the season began. And I'm surprised to see it this early within the season, but it does look awesome. It sort of gives off that hard man slash boss like energy, but it does also at the same time make me see, go from, okay, it used to look like a samurai, but this one now looks more like a Yakuza. That could just be me playing too much Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. But anyways, I really like the design and the effects of Transamu Power Rainic, so hopefully we do get to see it a lot more, and it kind of becomes Udis's new staple, so to speak. Which, seeing it in a promotional poster, does give me more hope in that regard. And finally, something was hinted within this episode, and that is the possibility of something living within the faster than light travel sort of area, I suppose you can call it. As when we're travelling through the faster than light tunnel, Nanamu notices a shadowy figure lurking within. Now this could hint at a new life form or a new monster that lives within this particular time space. This could be something as to where, like in Reigns, we had Storm Access with monsters and cards sort of being within the Storm Access and you can like pull it out. So I'll be looking a little bit closer next time we enter this location and seeing if anything else can be spotted. Let me know your thoughts on what you thought in the section here. Ultimately, there was a message with this episode, and that was to be grateful for what you have, as it could, bite you in the butt. But there was a lot of comedy which landed in this episode, and other bits of comedy didn't for me personally. I thought this episode was harmless. It could have been better, yes, and it could have actually have been worse. So all in all, it was okay. Let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your first impressions and thoughts. As always, hope you enjoyed the review. If you have, hit like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Alligator, matane. Goodbye.